What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about how you can use hymns in a creative way to give yourself more talk music ideas. All right, so today we're going to be in the key of E major. All right, so E major, key that's not super common for gospel songs or really popular for gospel players, right? But we're gonna do something different. We're gonna stretch ourselves, all right? So let's talk about it. How can we use hymns as talk music, right? So step number one, first thing we wanna do is learn a hymn, right? And to learn a hymn, you want to learn the melody line. A lot of just musicians that I talk to will learn songs, and let's say they learn old school songs, they'll learn the chord progression, but they won't really know the hymn, and they won't really know the melody line, and they can't really play the melody line. So if you're gonna learn a hymn, be able to play the melody line, be able to sing the melody line, and just have it really internalized, okay? So for the song that really just came to mind was "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." All right. So we got the melody line. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at his word, just to rest upon his promise, just to know thus saith the Lord." All right, and we'll just do the first half. So we got that. After you learn the melody line and really get that internalized, then you can go ahead and learn the chord progression, right? Na, na, na. Whatever the chord progression may be for the song that you're learning or the song that you already know. Okay, so that's the first step. We want to learn the hymn by learning the melody line, being able to play the melody line, being able to sing the melody line, and having it internalized, right? And then of course knowing the chord progression. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to take a small section, just a small section of this hymn, whatever hymn that you choose or that you're comfortable with, and we're going to figure out how we can embellish it, right? So let's just take this very first line of "'Tis so sweet." The chord progression is 1/3, 4, back to 1/3, or we could do like 1/5. All right, so we can move that up an octave. And then I can kind of embellish the melody line. So I don't have to play that every time. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." I don't have to play it that same way every time. I can do "It's so sweet to trust in Jesus." Right? Switch it up. Or "It's so sweet to trust in Jesus." Or we could add a passing chord in there. Or actually, no, let's do. All right, so something like that. We can throw in passing chords. Or let's see what else we can do. Or we can switch up the chord progression completely. So instead of doing 1/3, 4 to the 3, let's switch it up. All right, so we can just walk it down. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4 to the 3, or we could do or we could like reharm it a little bit, right? 1 flat 7, 6 minor 5, 4 minor to the 3, something like that. Right? Or we go crazy. Something like that. 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, 7, 3. But possibilities are endless, right? Let's see, what else could we do? There it is. There's something else. We got 1 over flat 7, 4 over 6, 1 over 5. So just using inversions. And kind of that's still based off of that same section. This souls we do, trust in Jesus. That's how I would think like a singer might embellish if they were being creative, if they were improvising. And then maybe instead of just starting the phrase all the way back over, we can just improv, come up with some other stuff right along with it, right? Or we can go into the next section. And then just to take him at his word. So. Reharm it right now. Keep it as simple. And then let's move on to the next section. Just a rest upon his promise. And then we'll skip on to the end. Let's do just to know the So yeah, let's take that last section because I feel like we can do something good with that. So let's do. We got 6, just to know, just to know. Actually, just to know, thus saith the Lord. I think that's what I'm normally playing. So 6, 2, or instead of playing just a straight up 2, you might hear like F sharp over A sharp. So the 2 as a major chord over flat 5. Okay, so just to know thus 5. So we could take a section like that, and maybe instead of resolving it, we could like vamp it, right? So we could do. That's taking that same section. Just to know, just to know, thus saith the Lord. 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 Right? We can vamp sections. All right. So that's a bunch of different ways that we can just take a hymn, take a small section of it, and you can embellish the chords. You can embellish the melody line. You can reharm the chord progression. You can switch it up that way, right? So let's look at another song example. Let's look at But There's Something About That Name. All right. And then we'll see what we can do with that song. All right. As well. So song goes like this. I'm still going to stay in E. So that's But There's Something About That Name. So let's just figure out what we can take out of that song, and like where we could run with, okay? So I would just start from the top. Like literally the very first line of the song, the first chord progression is really dope, and I think you can really expound off of it. So we're starting on the 1. Then we're going to like a 1 major 7th chord, so E major 7. Then we're going to like a 1 suspended. Then we're going to like a 1 dominant. To the 4, okay? So if we got something like that, let's see what we can do. So automatically, I'm just gonna start off with like just messing around with the chord voicing to see what we can do, to see what we can get. All right, so that's 1 1 Jesus. All right, that's the 1, and then we got. And then what I see is like we're going from a 1 triad to a major 7th chord, and I see a B major chord. I see B over E. So what I'm gonna do is just take this B chord and like kind of throw the bass away and play it in like this locked voicing. So, or we could do drop 2, 1, 5, and then the next chord was a suspended chord, right? Suspended. So we can do something with the suspended chord, and I see once again like a B minor chord over this E. Okay, so we can do something with that. And then we're going to E dominant. So then we're just gonna try, I'm gonna try mess around with the voicing, make it like an altered voicing. Left hand's playing a tritone, right hand's doing some other stuff, playing some color tones. All right, and then let's just run with that. Start from the top. All right, and then going on, instead of like just playing the whole song, we can kind of just vamp, mess around on the 4, and find a way to get back to the 1, right? Right, we could do something like that. So that would be using that. And then let's keep going through the song. Let's see if there's anywhere else that we could, or any other progressions that we could take. So Jesus, 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 there is something about. There is something about. There is something. That's just taking that line, there is something about that name, and just vamping. There is something about that name. There is something 2 about 3 that name. 4, there is something 4 about 5. There is something about. There is something, just vamping that there is something line. All right, so you could take literally any line, any little segment of a hymn and run like crazy with it, okay? So let's review real quick. Take your hymn, whatever the hymn is, choose a hymn, make sure you know the melody line, make sure you know the chord progression, all right? And then what you're gonna do is just take a little small section of the hymn and you're gonna figure out, okay, how can I embellish the chord progression? How can I embellish the melody line? How can I maybe reharm the chord progression? How can we add passing chords to make a small progression or like a 3-chord progression or however many chords is in it sound really full, right? And then of course you just want to read the room and whatever's going on, because if you're playing talk music, normally somebody's going to be talking, right, or praying. So just read the room and figure out what's right for that moment, okay? That's all I got for you for this lesson. If you got any questions, drop them in the comment section below. If you got any suggestions, any recommendations, drop them in the comment section below. Let me know. I'd love to hear from y'all, all right? I will see you in the very next lesson. Have a blessed day.